Did you know that since the year 2000, New Mexico has persistently ranked as one of the poorest states in the country? And in 2022, New Mexico had the highest poverty rate in the nation at 17.6%. New Mexico has long been one of the poorest states in the U.S., which perpetuates the issues of crime, poor education, low birth rate, and low job growth. While steps have been made to combat New Mexico's struggles, problems still persist in 2024. So today on Across the Globe, we're going to be exploring why New Mexico is so poor. Issue number 1, high poverty rate. Living below the poverty line does not necessarily indicate that households are not working. Rather, it often reflects the harsh reality that many individuals are employed but earn only minimum wage. In many parts of the country, including New Mexico, full-time jobs in low-wage sectors such as hospitality, retail, and agriculture fail to provide a living wage that covers basic needs like housing, food, and health care. As a result, even those who are employed may find themselves and their families struggling to make ends meet, illustrating that the wage level, rather than employment status, plays a critical role in economic security. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, as of 2024, an estimated 18.4% of New Mexicans live in poverty, which compares to 11.6% nationally. They also noted how 1 in 4 children in New Mexico live in poverty, and 43% of children in the state are part of families receiving public assistance. As reported by World Population Review in 2024, the race most likely to be in poverty in New Mexico is Native, with 31.43% below the poverty level. The race least likely to be in poverty in New Mexico is Asian, with 10.84% below the poverty level. The poverty rate among those that worked full-time for the past 12 months was 4.14%. Among those working part-time, it was 21.01%. And for those that did not work, the poverty rate was 26.62%. Issue number 2, educational inequality. The state of New Mexico faces significant challenges in its education system, including funding disparities, high dropout rates, and low performance in public schools. A lack of access to quality education can hinder workforce development and limit economic mobility for many residents. The legacy of colonialism has also affected educational systems in New Mexico. Many schools, particularly those serving Native American and rural populations, have struggled with underfunding and have not always incorporated culturally relevant curricula. According to Public News Service, a 2024 report says state funding for public schools has fallen off a fiscal cliff in 39 states, and that New Mexico is one of 10 states where some 60% of students attend school in chronically underfunded districts. What's more, in January 2024, Tri-City Record reported that New Mexico has the nation's second worst public schools. They noted how New Mexico ranked second to last in terms of standardized testing performance, with just 19.12% of fourth graders demonstrating proficiency or higher in math and 20.97% achieving the same in reading. They added that students in New Mexico received the lowest average SAT scores of any state. Issue number 3, health disparities. When it comes to health disparities, high rates of poverty are often linked to poor health outcomes, an issue we have already mentioned that New Mexico is battling and has been for some time. New Mexico faces challenges such as high rates of substance abuse, mental health issues, and lack of access to adequate healthcare services, which can exacerbate poverty and limit economic opportunities. As reported by KFF, from February 1 to 13, 2023, 36.4% of adults in New Mexico reported symptoms of anxiety and/or depressive disorder, compared to 32.3% of adults in the U.S. In early 2023, New Mexico started disenrolling people from the state's safety net health insurance program for the very poor. Within 2 months, close to 60,000 New Mexicans lost their health insurance. According to New Mexico legislature, in 2023, more than 25% of Hispanic women with known cardiovascular disease could not see a doctor when needed because of cost. What's more, Diseases of despair are highest among Native Americans, with New Mexico ranking highest for alcohol-related deaths in the nation, according to the New Mexico Department of Health. Issue number 4, high crime rates. New Mexico has long grappled with high crime rates, consistently ranking as the state with the highest crime in the U.S. This troubling trend not only impacts the safety and well-being of residents, but also exacerbates the state's economic challenges, contributing to its status as one of the poorest states in America. The pervasive crime has far-reaching effects, deterring potential businesses from investing in local communities, straining law enforcement and public resources, and leading to increased healthcare costs related to violence and victimization. Additionally, high crime rates can undermine community cohesion, limit opportunities for individuals and families, and create cycles of poverty that are difficult to escape. In 2024, World Population Review stated that New Mexico has the third highest crime rate in the United States and continues to have higher than average crime rates across the board. According to Safe Home, New Mexico's overall violent crime rate is 781 per 100,000 people, which is more than double the national rate. Neighborhood Scout reported that New Mexico residents face a 1 in 128 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime and a 1 in 34 chance of becoming a victim of a property crime. According to SafeWise's 2024 State of Safety Survey, 56% of New Mexico respondents say they worry about their safety every day, which stands as the 7th highest level of concern in the United States. The survey also found that 42% of respondents said they rely on guard dogs to protect their property in New Mexico, followed by 36% who use security cameras. And property crime experiences increased from 39% to 40% year over year, which is the second highest in the U.S. Issue number 5, economic structure. New Mexico's economy relies heavily on industries such as oil and gas, tourism, and government, including military jobs. While these sectors provide some employment, they can also lead to economic volatility as they are sensitive to market fluctuations. There is a lack of diversified industries that can create stable, long-term jobs. According to Britannica, about 1/2 of New Mexico's economy is based on the service sector, while much of the remainder is centered on extractive industries. They noted that by relying heavily on the export of raw materials and on federal expenditures for programs of no certain permanence, New Mexico is subject to shifting demands from outside the state. With the state's economy being heavily influenced by these external factors, this can cause many problems. For instance, when these prices fluctuate, as they often do, it can lead to boom and bust cycles. For example, a drop in oil prices can lead to significant job losses and reduced state revenues, resulting in budget crisis and economic downturns. Issue number 6, low wages. Many jobs in New Mexico are in low-paying sectors, contributing to high poverty levels among working families. The state's minimum wage has historically been low, and even as living costs in some areas have risen, wage growth has not kept pace. In 2021, the minimum wage in New Mexico was $7.50. By 2022, this had increased to $11.50. However, this did not equate to a living wage, even for a state with a relatively low cost of living. In 2024, the minimum wage is now $12. According to WorkStream, this is significantly lower than the national average wage of $21.89 per hour. They added that the New Mexico minimum wage is an important issue for many people across the state. It is a matter of fairness, economic security, and quality of life, and the debate over the minimum wage is likely to continue in New Mexico. Issue number 7, high unemployment rates. New Mexico typically experiences higher unemployment rates compared to the national average. Factors contributing to this include a labor market that does not attract high-paying job sectors, limited job opportunities in rural areas, and a mismatch between available jobs and the skills of the workforce. As reported by Governing.com, New Mexico had the highest unemployment rate in the nation in 2022. They noted how in January of that year, the state's unemployment rate stood at 5.9%, nearly 2 percentage points higher than the national average. In 2024, things have improved slightly. However, it is still not looking great. By May 2024, New Mexico had the 18th highest unemployment rate in the country. According to the business journals, the unemployment rate is now at 3.8%, which is a 0.2% increase from 2023. New Mexico's persistent unemployment rates not only contribute to its reputation as one of the poorest states in America, but they also place significant strain on social services and community stability. As job opportunities dwindle, many residents find themselves relying on public assistance programs to meet their basic needs, which can overburden state resources and create financial challenges for both families and the government. According to Investopedia, New Mexico's 518,800 participants for SNAP in 2022 represented 25% of the state's total population, the highest percentage of all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Additionally, the desperation that accompanies unemployment can drive some individuals toward illegal activities as a means of survival, leading to an increase in crime rates. This cycle of poverty and crime not only jeopardizes public safety, but also hinders economic recovery by discouraging investment and perpetuating a cycle of desperation that affects generations. Issue number 8, lack of infrastructure. New Mexico's infrastructure, including transportation, healthcare, and internet access, is often underfunded and inadequate, especially in rural areas. This limits economic development opportunities and access to essential services. In October 2023, Source New Mexico stated that New Mexico needs billions of dollars more to connect everyone to fiber optic internet. However, they noted that even with additional money, a manual workforce shortage could present challenges in getting things done. In terms of transportation issues, according to the Department of Transportation, in New Mexico, there are 207 bridges and over 3,822 miles of highway in poor condition. And since 2011, commute times have increased by 7.7% in the state. They also noted that on average, each driver pays $767 per year in costs due to driving on roads in need of repair. What about why so few Americans live in New Mexico as compared to Texas?